Have you ever wished that you could experience fairy tales just like back when you were a child? Relive some of the fairy tales about lords, poor folk, magic, witches and talking animals? To immerse yourself into an adventure that will take you to different lands where fables live. I did, many times. And even though I don't really have the capacity to observe the world as a child anymore, I still feel a strong connection to fables and stories. Hence, I love a good narrative, especially if it is crafted in a way that the child inside of me starts to wake up and shout in joy. Only a select few games could achieve this so far, like Ori and the Blind Forest and its sequel, or the part of The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine DLC where Geralt goes to Wonderland, and now Wytchwood. So let's see what the devs at Alien Trap have brewed us, and let's talk about Wytchwood. In Wytchwood you play as an old grumpy hag. Awakening from her slumber, she realizes that a goat has eaten half of her grimoire, hence all her recipes are gone. In her fury, she goes after the damn thing, but soon finds out that the goat is in fact someone else. A being she made a dark pact with, which she can't remember making, and this pact is somehow also connected to a sleeping maiden in a shrine not far from the witch's home. And so, we'll head out into the world to do as the Black Goat tells us, and begin our adventure of collecting magical ingredients, brewing sorcerous enchantments, and passing twisted judgment upon a capricious cast of characters and creatures. And there is a whole world for the player to discover. Our way will take us to the sunny forest, to the gloomy swamp, the eerie graveyard, a small village and more. Each area contains its own unique critters, plants, monsters and inhabitants. We will encounter helpless humans, hunted animals, weeping maidens, trolls, drakes and the list goes on. The world is filled to the brim with things to collect, characters to curse or aid, and secrets to uncover. Each biome is packed and looks amazing. This world is further supported by the lovingly rendered storybook art style that really hits home when trying to show a fairy tale land. Every landmark, character, plant, object is meticulously drawn. Every little detail in the background and all the effects are perfectly in line with the art style and the whole fable vibe. When I was a child, it was common to see cartoons that went for a paper cutout art style. This technique is heavily present in this game as well, admittedly resulting in a head start when it comes to waking the aforementioned child in me, but what really made this child jump and shout in joy is the narrative. I love stories. I know that I mention this in every other video I make, but I'm a sucker for great stories and plots, and Wytchwood delivers on this front big time. Jesse McGibney and Ariane A. Lawrence, the writers, did a terrific job. I was brought up on the stories by the Grimm brothers, Jean de La Fontaine and Aesop, and my heart immediately jumped when I noticed subtle similarities to works of these authors in some of the plotlines this game has. While at first glance the narrative of Wytchwood may seem bubbly and easy to digest, if you really pay attention you might notice some of the stories have a surprisingly deep alternative layer. They talk about topics like greed, gluttony or acedia, so although I can see how a younger audience would play and enjoy this title, I'd rather suggest it to a more mature audience. Nevertheless, every character and the story is compelling, and I'm absolutely sure most of the people will love this aspect of the game. There are stories in here about baby vegetables, frog kings, undead husbands and many more. The main characters are animals experiencing issues, and it's up to the witch to untangle the mess and pass judgment upon these characters and creatures. After all, how will they ever learn if we don't teach them the moral of the story? The core gameplay loop is all about venturing to different biomes, getting to know the residents, figuring out what they want, and then it's all about collecting plants, creatures and different ingredients, so we can research and concoct devious spells and sorceries, brew potions and create cunning curses. In order to craft the necessary tools for solving certain problems, the player has to collect and craft things and has to visit different places for different reagents and ingredients. It's all about exploration and knowing your way around these lands. The game has some action in it, however don't expect face-to-face action, which is don't operate like that. They are more sophisticated. Say there's a gnome with a peculiar hat we have to hunt down. But he is fast and intricate enough, we can't catch him. But we know that they can't resist complex and puzzling things. So a puzzle box will do the trick. That will make him stay put and we can snatch his hat. Every character and creature has a weakness, and the player has to work around these weaknesses. Crab cage against crabs, bait against lizards and dust against fairies. It is a great system and it works very well with the narrative and the world building. I really enjoyed the exploration and the collection of the ingredients, even if it sometimes can feel like a bit of a chore, but then the game pushes you to a new place, a new biome, and you start exploring again. And then you enjoy the whole process all over again. It is a very well balanced system. But what is a good game without sounds and music? Ryan Roth and Liam Sauway crafted some beautiful and chill music that pairs great with the gameplay, the characters, and each and every place the player will visit. The game heavily features guitar and other string instruments. The moment you step out from the starting area, a guitar-heavy melody starts to play in the background that will slowly transition into a bit of a more melodic vibe that is supported by some cello and double bass. Please don't quote me on these instruments, I might be wrong on the name of them, but the feeling they create while you adventure in the countryside is on point. So it's all in all, a job well done. This game is great. I haven't encountered any bugs during my time with this game, no crashes, no visual glitches. It is really hard to find any weak points when it comes to Wytchwood. The only thing I didn't like was the feeling of chore when I had to find a rarer ingredient. I could say some voice acting would have made this great game amazing, but that is an unrealistic expectation, so I won't use this against the game, nor the devs. All in all, Wytchwood is an amazing game, that will bring back memories and feelings from your childhood. A relaxing adventure game and a great story to play through. I can but recommend this game, as this one of the greatest game I have played this year, a true surprise. So dear devs at Alien Trap, let me applaud you. What an amazing game you have delivered. And this concludes this review. It was a true joy to play with this one. And what about you? Are you willing to give it a try? Did you like what you saw? Type your answers down below, I want to see your feedbacks. As always, the games and the devs' socials are in the descriptions, with ours as well. So you can check them out for more information, and you can follow us on other platforms as well. And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to us, so you can see more videos like this. So thank you for watching, until next time, Escape Pod out.